Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Monotonous Minecraft, episode 66. What's a big project today? We're going to turn this humble cactus farm, which produces way too much cactus, seriously, into a cactus farm that produces XP. So I already have this little XP thing here. It's got 8 slots. 8 slots doesn't give you a lot when you're doing green dye. So what we're going to do is instead of making this manual fill system, we're going to wrap furnaces all the way around this entire build at the base here. We're going to auto feed the cactus into it from here up something something something, and then for fuel, which I'm using bamboo that I've been carrying over an inventory at a time from over there, we're actually going to build a water path mover thingy, a water line. I don't know. There's a term that people use for it. I don't know what it is. We're essentially going to tap off of this chest here, shoot out a couple of hoppers, do a dropper so it shoots it out into a water path, and just this giant canal over our heads, going down all the way over here to feed the furnaces from there. And I think what we're going to do with the bamboo is we're going to just go a huge circle so that whatever's left over just despawns if there's any left over. The cactus, I was planning on doing that, but maybe we want to keep some cactus around. You know what? We don't really need to, because if we need cactus, we just come in here and grab the cactus. No big deal. So yeah, we'll have 2 loops of water going around that it'll just keep trying to fill in hoppers that feed into the furnaces until it despawns after 5 minutes. I'm hoping this will... I mean, it won't replace my other farms, my XP farms, like based on the spawners, but it should help a little bit. So here's a bunch of stuff we have. Why do I only have 1 bucket of water? I don't know. There's a water source around here somewhere. Basically, I don't know exactly what I need, but I know I need this many furnaces, bunch of hoppers, bunch of droppers, blue ice to make the stuff over the water flow faster. I don't actually know if that's necessary or not. We'll have it shoot underneath redstone slabs. We also need to do a water elevator, which means I need to go grab some iron and a bunch of glass. I want this to be visible. I want this to be visible and ridiculous. Probably floating overhead. I don't know if I'll anchor it or not, even though this is very much an anchored build. And we need some... I don't remember what we need to build the little automatic dropper thingies. You know, if there's something in the dropper, you shoot it out. So I know I need at least a comparator for that and some redstone. And yes, I know I've built them before, like over here at our garbage depot, but I can't remember what it is, so I need to look it up. It's something hopper, something redstone, shooty dropper. See? Perfect. That's exactly how it works. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is actually tear out what I have here and place in all my furnaces. It's going to be 13 aside. There's 8 here. 8 plus 42. Yeah, 52. So 13 per side. This building is like 15 by 15. And so, or 17 by 17. One of those two. Anyway, we'll have enough for 13 furnaces per side. It'll be 52. Will you be able to like auto fix tools? Not with just 1 furnace, but that's okay. It'll still work out. Give us a little bit of boost. I'm going to eat. Apparently a lot. Take a nap and jump in once I've got the furnaces set. Okay, so we have all of our furnaces and hoppers in place. I had to move them away from the wall by 1 block because I was really concerned about the... No, actually, I wasn't concerned. I knew that the circuit for the dropper over here would interfere. And by interfere, I mean it would flood the water line we want here. So we've got some space here. I'm going to use a vertical system with some observers and just one... what's the word? Not the repeater, the comparator. So it's a little bit expensive as far as needing a little bit of quartz, but it's not a big deal. This will be a water column heading up. I keep doing this. It's not going to go that high because it just has to go to like a little bit higher than this. So what I want to do is build a couple of water lines that just kind of arc here, and I'll have them overshoot by one so that I'll push the water this direction and keep it going, rolling around, which means that this only needs to drop it off in this line, so it doesn't have to go that far. No big deal. Let's see what else is next. I think, well, I still have to figure out how to get the bamboo from over there too. That's going to be pretty much the same system as this, except instead of a water elevator, we're just going to have it shoot straight out into whatever level it is, bring that over, and that will dump out over on this level all the way around. So yeah, let's get the lines built in around these two. Just the infinite loops. It'll circle around and go woo, wee. These guys are everywhere. Let me get those water lines in place, and we'll see what the next step is going to be. Got all my glass put in, all the ice here. Anyone see a problem with this design? Yeah. The line for the fuel is a closed system. How am I supposed to get the fuel in there? I'll figure something out. Except for the fact that I built everything out of glass, so it's almost impossible to see what's going on. So far, so good. Here is the circuit to empty out this dropper. You can see that this sticky piston is up. I'll put another observer facing this one, and it'll go click, 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 click. Shoots everything up to this little elevator here. We use our iron trick. Remember, we need that for the PS4 with the water flowing over it, so it shoots out the cactus into this continuous loop of water. And then to get the fuel in, I've got a dropper facing down. We'll have the same circuit here. The other observer will actually go on top of this comparator. And then this allows... I can't get up here. There we go. This will come in from over there somehow and flow straight into this hopper, which feeds in that dropper, and that should be good. So what I need to do now is finish the water stream for the fuel line, and then build the ridiculous thing from over there to over here. And I'm going to need to know what level I'm at, because I need to get stuff to this level. That looks a little low. I might have to move the stuff up again. Oh, bother. No big deal. We'll get it over here. It'll happen. It'll happen. If need be, I can actually keep it a little bit lower and move it over from this direction. And that way I can lose a layer of height. This is bumped up here to allow stuff from over here to come through. There. So I'll figure that out. Let me get the water lines in and this worked out. We'll jump back in at a later point. Okay, after a lot of moving and unmoving and removing, and that doesn't look good. Water's weird in this game. I got all the water things in place. I was about to say, except for that one. Okay. So here's a tip. If you want to build something like this, put the lower water in before the upper water. I had to pretty much remove each one of these individually to get all these other bits put in. In retrospect, that's totally obvious. It should have been totally obvious before I did all this work. Whatever. Okay, let's jump over to the spot over there where I've got our system set up for getting our fuel over here. Here we've got our dropper circuit. Once again, don't have the second observer in because this stuff is already loaded up and it's going to just start shooting it everywhere. I did luck out. This ice path matches up with over there, and it's just the right height, like just high enough so it should flow all the way down and into our fuel chamber. So that was very lucky. So well, I mean, here's what would have happened if that didn't work. I would have just shot it up in a bubble elevator and moved it over anyway. It's no big deal. But because of this, I don't have to worry about doing that again. It makes our townhouse build a little clunky, but that's okay. Our cat still likes us. Hi, kitty. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this ice path here and put in the walls and then all the water and the slabs and pretty much finish this, and then I should be able to put some observers in and kick this thing up. Hopefully everything works. Let's see what happens. I've got my water line finished all the way through. It's time to start turning these on. Who's taking bets? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Okay, so far so good. It should fill up the near ones first, and then the far ones. Going over here. And how do I do this? Let me get a disposable block. That works. Okay, so that should turn that one on. There's nothing to spit out yet. So let's go all the way down here. And then boom. Alright. Whee! Boy, this stuff goes fast. You know, the blue ice really helps. Does that thing not load? These things might be too far away from each other to properly load. And what's going on here? So this is going to take a while. So because we're offset by 5 furnaces, the cactus fills in here first. And the fuel fills in here first. It's going to take a while to reload. Okay, but everything seems to be going good. Let's see, this should be loading up. Nope, something's getting lost. Or maybe the problem is I forgot that hoppers just need to fill up before they can move on to the next one. That's embarrassing. So as long as we get some past there... Yeah, I don't see any... Yeah. You can see the cactus, the bamboo, some of it floating there. That's going to happen. We're just waiting for the one piece. This one's almost full. Sometimes the water's flowing pretty fast, so these things are shooting over the top. So once this one fills up, hopefully we'll start seeing some bleed over. This one's to fill up more. That one's good. Still nothing in this one. That's what we're waiting for. Waiting for the connection. If it doesn't work... What we may have to do is split these hopper chains up into 2. Like get rid of the middle one so we can put a water source block. I'm gonna keep watching it and figure out what's going on. Yep, it's not getting past this first section. So a bit of redesign is gonna be necessary here. That's gonna take a while. Let me turn off all these. Well, at least the cactus one. and see if I can figure this out. So yeah, you can't cross the streams. The water flowing over the top of this was interfering with the water going through there. So all I had to do was put in a little mini item elevator here for the fuel. And it all looks like it's hunky-dory. I think. Yeah, there it goes. Why is fuel not going into there? Wait, no. Oh my gosh, I think it's going crazy! Oh, you know what? I actually might be finally out of cactus. As this thing runs, I mean, so the real problem with this is that, yeah, we've got a lot of materials going into it, but it is finite, so we have to wait for we need to wait for them all to catch up. So right now, I just grabbed some XP onto my already fully repaired armor. See, it's kicking it again. And the first one should be this one, yeah. So starting at this, going all the way around. This one will actually be the last. This one will be the last one that has XP in it because the fuel has to go all the way around the complete loop. So the way this works is you take off your armor, you get your tool here, you bink, and see, I got some stuff. It's not much. We brought that up earlier. Mostly it was just because we've got a bunch of cactus piling up here. Now the fun part is, now I've got all this green dye, which I don't have any use for. I've got so much of it already. So I'm going to go ahead and build a little trash can system like we did before over by the main base there in the center. Just to throw away all the stuff that we used. What I have been doing, this is not really the best way of doing it. I've just been throwing it down in the pit and letting it despawn. That's all. Okay, let's look at the glory that is this insane build. I told you it was going to look silly. For anyone who watched the last video, which, you know, I know was just a time lapse of me flattening the world, which I find interesting. Some of you may, some of you may not, that's fine. But if you actually listen to it, I said this next build will be useful but silly, especially silly looking. And I think this fits the bill. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time.